But Gen X will never forget that millennials had participation trophies. I don't know if that's still a thing. I have no idea. But participation trophies was really like, I don't know, that's like really, really, really gonna fuck them up, isn't it? But when I talked to them, like my millennial friends about it, they said, no, we kept score. Like we kept score. They didn't keep score. Like they gave you a participation trophy or whatever, but we kept score. We knew what was going on. So, you know, the kids were smarter than that, and the competition mattered to them. I guess that's probably capturing me. Whee! That's better. I guess that's probably capturing me. Let's find the timer, huh? So we can not go too crazy. Hiya. So like, when you make videos, I don't know, so many probably do that these days, have made some type of content. There's, I remember when I used to make my videos, there was like an amping up phase where I would like go outside, get some sunshine, go to the Starbucks, get the Starbucks, drink the coffee, get amped up. Then I'd sort of like slap my, you know, just whatever it took to raise the energy levels. And whilst I don't think that was I don't know, like I've been struggling with this idea of authenticity because a lot of people write in my comments, bro, you're so honest, you're authentic, this, that, and the other. And it's nice. It's always been nice because I've often had that comment. But there's always going to be many elements, depending on the video, to be honest, what it requires of inauthentic moments. Like, so like I know I've been doing like sort of reacting or looking back at some of my videos in the past, and my reactions are somewhat tempered because I've seen that shit a million times. And so I could fake it for sure. You know, I could be like, fucking, oh my God, you know, hilarious or whatever. But it's like, yeah, I just, you know, in my head, I like it a lot, but I like, you know, I enjoy reminiscing and all that stuff. But some of it is not really catching me off. Some of it catches me off guard because some of it I forget, but like reaction videos in general, I remember when I used to record them, sometimes you just fuck up the first take by saying something a bit silly. And so then you record the second reaction video. So I don't know that anybody thinks that reaction videos are necessarily like the first time someone's seeing something every time, particularly those channels that are dedicated to it, that have probably figured out, you know, very specifically how their content's going to work, when they're going to react, how they're going to react, what would look good. I'm sure it's all fake. So much of what we see on TV, on social media is fake. And it's really interesting to me because I'm a Gen Xer, right? So there's an element of me that for sure wants to get at the truth. Like that's the most important thing, is the truth. What's the truth? You know, and I think that's what people pick up on when they say that you're authentic or honest, is like, what's the fucking truth here? But I definitely have my moments of being inauthentic. I've had moments where I've been very unhappy and had to put on a smile or whatever for the camera. But I've noticed like this, I don't think this should be a surprise to many if you're aware of it or if you're paying attention. It really depends how much time you spend on social media, and I spend way too much time on there. But I can see like each and every video, and I can see it for what it is quite a lot of the time, which is usually just fake. I'm not even talking about like the guy who's pretending to own the Ferrari in the big house or whatever, because they rent all that shit out. I don't know if you knew this, but they have all these things that they rent out to influencers in Hollywood. It's a brilliant idea if you're the guy renting this shit out, but like, one of the more recent ones in the last year or so has been renting out the inside of a plane, basically. So you can just do these skits, which are either funny or you can make them look like real world conversations with Karens and, people being assholes to each other and all this stuff. And if you look closely, you can see like all the window, like you'll notice that they're not in the air. You'll notice that it's very sparse. There's no branding, no nothing. It's just, it's fake as fuck. But what I find interesting is that like so many of these things are fake, like particularly the reality TV type. I call it reality TV, but like the so-called real moments where someone already has their camera out, where people are interacting in on the tube or wherever. Like it, there's some pretty bad actors out there, or in the street or whatever, and it's just, it's just all BS basically. But the bit that I find interesting is that I can't figure out what each generation makes of it all. Like I have my own ideas. Like I think I think a lot of Gen Xers are confused because most of them don't spend as much time on social media as I do. So I get videos from my friends where it's pretty obvious it's fake, and I'm pretty sure they don't know. Whereas I do have a few friends who, they know. Then you got like the boomers who, fuck knows. I think they just, at this point, my parents, I think, at this point are not. I think they're cautious of things like social media and stuff. I think they just would rather hear the news on the BBC or whatever, and also they just don't spend that much time on social media, I don't think. Apart from Facebook grabs the older people, which is a shame. But then you've got these younger generations. So millennials, I think, are in the. I often think of myself as a bit of a millennial, not in the sense that Gen X look at millennials as kind of weak, which is not true because I've hung out with a million millennials and have a lot of millennials who are my friends, and obviously it's a generalization anyway. But Gen X will never forget that millennials had participation trophies. I don't know if that's still a thing. I have no idea. But participation trophies was really like, I don't know, that's like really, really, really gonna fuck them up, isn't it? But when I talked to them, like my millennial friends, about it, they said, no, we kept score. Like we kept score. They didn't keep score. Like they gave you a participation trophy or whatever, but we kept score. We knew what was going on. So, the kids were smarter than that, and the competition mattered to them, I think. And then you got like Gen Z, right? So Gen Z, I think, is the ones who grew up with the internet just sort of firmly in place for them. And what I find interesting about them is it's like they don't really give a shit what the truth is. That's what I think. I'm not sure. But it feels like they sort of just watch it all and just go, was that entertaining or not? And if it was, let's roll with it. And is it fake? I don't know. And that's only going to get worse, right? It's only going to get worse with AI. I mean, it is terrible already. But like, it's just going to be impossible, like, to figure out what's real, what's not real, and all that sort of stuff. And what I tend to do is take a step back and just think, well, what's going on here? Is this a video for likes? Is this a video for making money? Is this a video for propaganda? What's going on? I mean, the same thing goes for like bots and troll farms and all that stuff, you know, who are pushing an agenda on you. It's so funny. Every time when I go online and mention anything about processed food and sugar, I get a response within minutes from some random person I've never heard of, telling me that sugar's not the problem, it's overeating or something. Like it's, you know, it's like diluting the argument. So I don't know. I think what I'm trying to say is, do people really want honesty? Oh, and by the way, I've massively misled and fucked up the algorithm on my channel by doing this, by flipping back and forth between videos, which is okay because I'm not currently in any type of race, as it were. You know, I'm not in any type of lane or channel or anything or type of race for a YouTube channel. What I'm doing is using this therapeutically, and it's been actually quite positive for me. Even when numbers go down, I'm just like, I'm pretty cool with it, to be honest. I'm fine. Even though I actually, obviously I love it when people comment and like and subscribe and all that stuff, or donate or whatever. I'm not overly phased. Yeah, it's just like, this is like talk therapy for me, where I do all the talking. But that is talk therapy, right? There's usually another person on the other side sort of nodding, so I just pretend that person exists. But yeah, it's gonna, I don't know, it's interesting. I just don't know if people value authenticity and truth anymore. And also that, you know, you can go back and say, well, were we ever getting the truth anyway? You know, when we used to watch TV, the propaganda and all that stuff. I remember Christopher Hitchinson. Yeah, Christopher Hitchinson, R.I.P. That guy was amazing. I think he was he debated a lot of people on TV about various cultural things, particularly religion. And he was amazing at what he did. He always knew more than the person that he was debating against, which was fantastic. But one of the things he said about the news was that he had personal relationships with journalists on the ground in various places. He said that was the only way he could get the truth. Like back then, like we're talking like when I was growing up, you know, like we all know that there's propaganda spin on every single channel now, and they don't hide it. But I didn't know that growing up. I just thought the news was the news, you know. When I was a kid or whatever, or when I was a teenager, I suppose, you just take it for granted that it is what it is, until you realise that it's all just influence, all of it. These publications, these TV channels, whatever. Anyway, this is definitely a stream of consciousness. Really, it's me thinking about how I'm just trying to understand, like, I think what I want to understand is young people and whether they are interested in discerning the truth or just feel that it's an impossible idea. And then if you don't care about the truth, what do you care about? Anyway, I'll leave you with that. I will see you, I don't know, I was thinking about maybe doing 5 videos a week. I might not do one on Monday and Tuesday, so I can spend even more time focusing on job hunting, because it's just got to happen for me. It's 100% got to happen for me. There isn't really it's not one of those things. Yeah. So, anyway, I will see you, if not tomorrow, and if not Tuesday, then on Wednesday. But I might see you tomorrow. We'll see.